How you guys feeling out there? Here we go with a dope little episode podcast, man. I appreciate y'all stopping by, those of you who can make it. And I want to talk to you about the craziness going on in the internet today about the rapper named 4Extra, which you can see on the picture up there. He is a hip hop star that actually got into a scenario out there in the world where he lost his hand, and he lost his hand doing like a rap thing. I mean, hanging with his homies on the 4th of July, and it was really crazy because the guy being young and not ever going through something like that is such a tumultuous situation. It's something that who would ever want to wish that on their worst enemy. I can't imagine somebody doing that. But the guy lost his one of his hands. I think it was his right hand. You could see him holding it, and it's really scary. Things happen out there in the world. And the 4th of July, apparently he had a M100, M1000 or something like that in his hand. And when he tried to light it, the rumor is, or the conversation is, it just exploded. It didn't give him no sizzle time for him to get his hand and get out the way. It just exploded on him, leaving him handicapped. I mean, tough to imagine that you was using your right hand for many days, and all of a sudden it's gone. Since you was a child, you was a righty. Now you gotta try to learn how to use your left hand. And now that the hand is gone, how do you get on with your life? How do you get back to normal? It's really scary to even imagine. But him being a young guy, he got to try to figure it out. You know, he was a person that talked about squabbling and fighting and doing all this tough guy shit. And then he ran into this scenario. That you saw right away, some of his haters was out there definitely throwing shade. And they was saying negative stuff about him. But, you know, that's to be expected because the internet is full of people who get mad. They have problems. And they just be evil, downright evil. You know what I'm saying? So just kind of handle it and fight through it because it's not something that you expect to go through. And when you're living out here in the world, you can't expect everything to work out the way you want it to when you're living. Nothing really kind of go your way when you really think about it. What's up, spookier, fierce frags? What's up? Appreciate y'all coming by. But like I said, you can't really expect things to go so perfectly when you're living because things can go crazy. And that's all actually what happened to him. Losing your hand and becoming handicapped at this age, it's really scary because it's like, who can you count on? If he's married, I heard he's married. So hopefully he stays married and the girl got his back because without having somebody to count on and talk to, it's going to be tumultuous, man. It's already scary in its own right that you could lose your hand. And God, and we all know that the way life works out, anything could happen to any one of us. You know, and then, you know, for him to have been a person who's been locked up so long, and then he come out, he didn't even set himself up with no beginning, middle, and end. He just jumped right to it, you know what I'm saying? And I know he rapped, you know what I'm saying, and trying to build his career up as a rapper and shit, but dealing with this right here, you stuck with such a hard ass life now, right? You know what I'm saying? He gotta live as a handicapped person from this day forward. And then all of that squabbling that he liked to do, because you know he liked to fight. He was on No Jumper a lot. That's how I found him and seen him up there. Another person they had up there named 55 Crip, he went to jail. So you don't see him up there no more. So Adam 22, who was like the curator and the owner, he would get other rap guys to come up there and jump on the show with him. So they found this guy, 4Extra. He pretty wild. He pretty downright rambunctious. You know, he talk from the vernacular of his neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? Like he kick it like that. Just like I do. Talk like the city, the neighborhood I'm from. And that's how he talks. So he always saying Vernon Ave on 40s, on 40 Crips. So I'm thinking like how he gonna talk to the doctors if that's how he talk, because the doctor's gonna be expecting you to use real English. Like, yo, how does your hand hurt? On 40 Crip, my hand, it hurt right here, it hurt right here. It's like they're gonna be like, man, you can't talk like that. I can't understand you. You know what I'm saying? He got to get occupational therapists. He got to get all kind of ways where he got to get people to help him get his hand back. They gonna be giving him shots in his arms, taking all kind of pills, not being able to stay awake. You know what I'm saying? We ain't being constipated, or hopefully not. He won't get addicted to the drugs. You know what I'm saying? They give you all these pills for pain. Some people get addicted, but I remember him saying that he an athlete. You know, he's not an athlete, but he work out a lot. You know what I'm saying? Being locked up for a amount of time, you know what I'm saying? I guess he became real physically fit, so he say he don't drink, he don't smoke, none of that stuff. He just ready to fight. But, you know, his hand being gone, or being compromised, or being, you know what I'm saying, something he can't use for a while. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be crazy. You know, can you imagine having your hand wrapped up and shit? You so used to using it right away that you be bumping it and all kind of shit. You right away until your brain can configure that you can't use it no more. It's a lot of stuff that go on in your brain. I mean, even just remembering the bomb going off and seeing it play out in your head several times, 10, 15 times before you go to sleep and you waking up and it's like right there again, you know what I'm saying? You keep seeing it. You know what I'm saying? So I know he gonna be needing some kind of mental therapy. A GoFundMe is important because he owe a lot of money to those doctors. He gonna owe a lot of money to people who gonna be trying to help him, and you know they're gonna put you going crazy, saying you need these pills. These pills gonna cost this much, and you know what I'm saying. You in the streets. You really ain't got no health insurance. You ain't got no job. They ain't giving you no health insurance at no jumper. You know what I'm saying. They ain't giving you nothing that the doctor's gonna want to take to use as some necessary collateral for your health care. You know what I'm saying. Plus, you got to visit the doctor all the time, so that means transportation got to be right. You know what I'm saying? And what if the doctor on the other side of town? You know, California big. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? What up, only Saran fans? So I just think that it's crazy that the guy got to go through all of that stuff, man. Bro, do welcome to the channel, all of y'all. I appreciate y'all coming to check me out. My name used to have 2 times. I rap, I'm a filmmaker, creative. I do all that great stuff. And I love talking and podcasting and stuff like this. When I hear about these things, sometimes it'd be hard to talk about it, you know. It's like, you know, in Chicago, there was like 18 people shot a few days ago. I couldn't really talk about that because it's kind of hard, you know what I'm saying, to discuss it. People living with family members that's gone. It's kind of rough. And then, so even talking about this guy's scenario and you see some of the photos going around the internet, it's horrific. It's next level. You know what I'm saying? And even in Chicago, where I'm from, a young kid blew himself up this weekend for 4th of July, like 11 years old. So it's all over the news. They didn't have Faux Extra on the news. You didn't see him on the news in my region. But this kid, whoever he was, guy will hopefully okay. And he's like 11 years old. It's all over the news that he hurt himself for the 4th of July. So hopefully that kid will be all right. But then you go over to Faux Extra, he's like twice that age, you know what I'm saying, more, if not more. So maybe something would have helped him understand the danger, you know what I'm saying. And they say that wiki stick that go on it, that sizzles down before it blow up, that they could be any kind. Like sometimes the wax on those things, they fall off or they get weak, or they say sometimes you put the wiki stick on there and it's just not strong enough to put the fire down in a hole. So what's up, man? Saran fans. So it's crazy how each one of those firecrackers are really dynamically different, but you don't know which one you get. It's only one way to know what kind of firecracker you got. You got to light it up on a fire, but him holding it in his hand, it's almost like that was a mental problem. Yo, thanks for subscribing, man. I appreciate the rest of y'all, man. Subscribe as well, and I think that's crazy that he held it in his hand. Like, come on, like you didn't see that could be dangerous, but I guess thinking that the scissor was gonna happen, you have a chance to throw it. It's like an idea that you could probably think of at the last minute, you know. But I'm thinking to myself, like, why didn't he use like smoke bombs? Why didn't he use like sparklers at first, you know, just to get you going? Put some bottle rockets in some bottles, let them go up in the sky, like, you know, like move up to the M1000. I don't know if he did that, but I'm just saying. Then you got the thing in your hand and you lighten it, and it was a dud. So it didn't sizzle down. It just kaboom. The fire, the connection to the actual stem to the bomb was all one. And that's what they were saying about the faultiness inside some of those waxes that hold all that together. It's some actually ignition inside the stem. That's why you see it sparkling the way it do. It's not enough for it to bomb, but if it connects the fire all the way through the stem instantly, You can't stop it. The wax is supposed to slow it down, but everyone is going to be built different, and everyone is going to have its own dynamic about it. Which which one you get, you don't know. You know what I'm saying? You just trying to have fun. You trying to kick it. You laughing. You probably drinking. If you know, I don't think this guy drank, but you know, you with your friends. You know, everybody having a good time. You can't imagine a tragedy happening right now. However, it's a little bit more adolescent to think that you could hold something so chaotic in your actual freaking hand. And so I think this dude gonna be somebody who could actually speak to the masses about the tragedies that could happen in something like that. You know what I'm saying? Because I assume he thought he was gonna chuck it back and throw it, but that's still a long time to be having this thing in your hand because it's such of an impact that it can do. You know what I'm saying? So now you got a big old physical bomb in your hand, and you ain't even really thinking about it because you caught up in your own idea. And I remember being a kid, and it would be M80s, but they was like this big, you know, and it would call them M80s, and somebody would have it and light it and throw it, but it would be like it never got far. And I remember visually watching that. It would always blow up in the sky, and it would be close by their ears, so they'd always try to run away, and boom, it'd be like, damn, it'd be like, whoa. I saw that. That was close. You didn't get too far from that. And that's a little M80. And that I saw the ones he had. They was double the size from my youth. You know what I'm saying? So they had to be like about M whatever the hell. I can't imagine because I really ain't into the things people been saying is M1000s. So it's like, whoa, that's 10 times the magnitude of the little ones when I was a kid. And the sound was unbelievable. They used to throw them in garbage cans at that time. Garbage cans was like steel barrels, and the fucking reverberation from it and the sound would be even more chaotic because it was steel barrels. So now you light one of those. But I remember as I got older, people would just put them between a rock or something like that, light it and run. You know what I'm saying? But for him to hold it in his hand, it really does compel you to question why. What was you thinking? Like, was it a bet? Like, they could have been betting. You know, see, people was not there. So it could have been a bet. Like, yo, I bet you $5,000, I bet you $300 you can't, you know, whatever, you know what I'm saying? And then they say, all right, let's try it. And then it turned into chaos. Because again, they said somebody who else was out there, it smashed into their face because they were standing close by. And they even said this guy for extra actually went blind temporarily, you know, because of this, probably the bang and the flash, you know, become before the bomb comes the flash, the light, you will hear that faster than you hear the sound. And then here come the sound and the impact and the push and all of that because that's a bomb going off. So it's always going to give a shock wave, you know, shock wave shooting towards your face. So it's crazy. You know what I'm saying? It's not like a game. It's not like a joke. You know what I'm saying? For somebody's personal life to be tore up like that. You know what I'm saying? And now this guy got to really go on the rest of his life with no hand. And I don't know if he got children or nothing like that, but you know, picking up a little baby is kind of over with right now. You know what I'm saying? Grabbing a cup, you know, driving, turning the wheel like this, you know, whatever. You got to really just kind of like switch up hands. Everything you do. You can't do nothing the way it was. You know what I'm saying? So that's really a switch up in the dynamic for your mind to be thinking about everything you used to do. You got to change. No matter what you used to do, it ain't the same no more. So it's crazy, man. You know what I'm saying? So I know none of us wish that badness on nobody. And I hope the guy have a speedy recovery. And I hope he's able to recover his podcast game because the pain and everything, probably right now, you won't be able to get online and have no podcast and talk and get on those shows. But in order to help him with his money on the GoFundMe aspect, he could be able to do the podcast and build up some money. Because GoFundMe is like one time. You do a GoFundMe, the money lasts, what, 2 years, a year, you know, 6 months. And then, because you got medical expenses. And then maybe you don't even hit your number. You know what I'm saying? You don't know. And then you get up out of there. Now you got the GoFundMe affected. But now you got new bills coming in. It's been 3 months. It's been 6 months. It's been a year and a half. And then people looking at you like, if you still want to come see this therapist, you still need to see this scientist. You still need to pay these fees on this one prosthetic situation that we gave you. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot that he got to kind of go through. That ain't even something he probably even thought about. You know what I'm saying? And then you also got to be mentally ready for it because sometimes people be in massive, heavy levels of denial. And so now that he got to really go to the doctor and face the music on this, he can't do it. He thinking like, I ain't on this. I can't do it, man. They saying, yo, get in the car. We got to take you down here to see this doctor. He like, I ain't going. forget that. I'll be all good. I'll be all good. You know what I'm saying? You out there kicking it with your friends, your hand bleeding and shit. Your boy like, hey, nigga, look at your hand. Like, oh, that's all good. I ain't gonna trip on that. You know, it's like the band. You can't even the bandage. You know, who gonna bandage you up at night? You know what I'm saying? When you leave the doctor, who can you trust to treat you straight like that? That it ain't gonna be nobody trying to hurt you or nothing like that after you've been living your life. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot to uncover. It's a lot to unpack for a person like that that's newly handicapped. You know what I'm saying? Really walked right into a handicapped situation because of hanging with your boys on 4th of July, and now your life changed forever. You understand what I'm saying? Luckily, he's still alive, and I think he'll recover from it physically over time. But mentally, it might be something else because again, accepting the fact that you don't have a hand or you don't have the right hand that you used to have. You know what I'm saying? Imagine them going to get a hand for him and he can't find a hand that's black. He got to find a hand that's a different color. You know what I'm saying? Or something like that. And it's like, wait a minute, are you serious? Like what, for real? And that's just the way the system works. It don't have hands like that where we could just go give you a hand that's the color of your skin tone. That's just the hands that they made. You know what I'm saying? But honestly, how this game go is you'll be trying to get some work and some help, and they'll tell you there's a waiting list. Like, you can't just come in here and get one because of your situation, especially if it didn't come through a birth defect or a family, whatever, some serious illness. If you came from a tragic situation like a bombing going off, then they look at that as, personally induced. So we're not going to put you up ahead of nobody. You got to get on the back of the list of people who can get a prosthetic hand. So it's like, yeah, it's a 9-month wait, it's a 2-month wait, 3-month year, 3-year wait. You're like, man, what the fuck? Or you used to touching your hand, touching your hair, or, grabbing some, clapping. All these things, boxing, because they say he like to squabble. So, he said he can still squabble. He going, right, is that true? You know what I'm saying? So those guys that might not like him might want this to be the chance. You know what I'm saying? To be like, yeah, okay, you ready? Now I got you. And then the person fighting you, they not finna fight you. They finna go right for that hand. Like, anything you do, I don't care, because I'm going for that hand. So he's out of the fighting situation, being a tough and beating people up and all that. That's over with. He's never going to do that again. Because all it'll take for you to try to do that again is somebody to just attack you back and you can't do shit else. You know what I'm saying? So I see him being more of over time, like an advocate for people that going through tragic situations. That's the way he going to make money. That's the way he's going to be able to utilize this in a positive direction, is to make money, is by putting it out to the fact that he'll speak for people like that, because they're going to look at him, no matter how he sees himself, is he's going to be handicapped at this point forward. And that's something that you didn't wake up thinking you would be, but it's like that's what it is from this point on. You'll be handicapped forevermore. When you go to the store, you'll be able to park in the front. They'll give you the thing. And when you get your cart, you'll be pushing it with one hand. You understand what I'm saying? So it's like a lot of that little element. How about lifting weights? You know what I'm saying? Getting in, doing push-ups. You know what I'm saying? All the things that the guy used to do to keep himself athletic or whatever, hooping. You know what I'm saying? So all these things that's over with, you can't do those things at least for years until your body can recover from that. You know what I'm saying? Even rapping. Imagine that, rapping. You got to use left hand from now on. It's no more right hand rapping. You know what I'm saying? So these are compelling elements about you that you can't even get off. You know what I'm saying? You can't get past that. And it's all off again. A weekend of fun, 4th of July weekend. God blessed all of us. We all made it through. But it's guys like him, that little 11-year-old kid, and others who didn't. They had ran through some scenarios. And it's like, even leading up to the weekend, in our town, there was like 18 people shot at a nightclub. 4 of them passed away, rest their soul. And it was like, wow. You know what I'm saying? Like, we went to the club a billion times as a kid. We even caught the bus to the damn club. And it was nothing like that. Now, today, you go to the club and it could be some shit going down. And you just being out there, you get caught up in it. You know what I'm saying? So, this kid right here made it through. But that GoFundMe, I hope he can get him like $2-3 million. He got a fan base on the podcast game. So having a fan base that people know who you are and they like you and they talk to you, that's actually important. Because when you reaching out to them, it's a high possibility they might see you and have a heart. And they'll be like, you know what? I got you. let me go ahead and put some money on dude, man. I got you, bro. You know what I'm saying? Because people won't understand the situation that it's a tragedy and it's gonna change your life instantly. It's not even like you had the old life. It just became like you went to bed and you woke up a new world. It's a whole new world. You know what I'm saying? And you have to deal with the world now. You know, because he's alive. You know, situations like that could kill you. You know, or leave you permanently blind and with no hand. Could you imagine being permanently blind and got no hand? You know what I'm saying? Now, who the hell gonna walk you around? Who the hell gonna talk to you? Who you gonna trust? You basically gotta be a hermit sitting up in a room somewhere from that point on. Because you can't even see. You know, so not having a hand, it might seem like it's okay, or it might seem like you can recover fast, but it's gonna be a hell of a walk, and you gotta think about that mental shit. This part, the PTSD that come from actually dealing with something so traumatic, and then you have to continue on. You can't just go through it and then just be like, hey, I'm done with that. Hey, let's do something new. It's like, this is your life. You know what I'm saying? So whatever God got in tell for that guy in his future, we'll see. You know what I'm saying? But I do know one thing. He lost that hand. Everybody on the internet talking about it. You can't find nobody not discussing that, because again, he had a fan base as a podcaster. You assume people like that got money. You know, like nojumper people, they probably hit you with $20,000 or something like that. But it's probably not like that in the real world. And it's probably like you got to get money from being here talking. So if you're not on the podcast, then you don't get paid. And then the level of money you need, you're not going to be able to just get nobody to hand it to you. It's like you either got to have it yourself or you go without it. You know what I'm saying? So hopefully he got some form of insurance. But that even compels you to know again, you know, how big is it important to be gangster and a killer and a thug if you can't take care of yourself as a grown-up man, you know, even your kid or even your wife. You know, it's like that's really what life is all about. You know what I'm saying? Whether you're a podcaster getting that done, a rapper, a worker, you know, whatever it is, that's really what life is ultimately about. And, you know, the guy jumped out there being gangster and shit and then really needing a GoFundMe. It's kind of weird, but it's not weird, really. It's reality. Because who could go through a traumatic situation like that and got money sitting around for doctors and lawyers and specialists? Not too many people. Not too many people got that kind of money. That's just sitting around like, yeah, if I need to holler at this specialist and they in Switzerland, yeah, fly in town and talk to me about this new prosthetics. But man, anybody got no money like that? You had to be going to some university and saying, hey, I'm dealing with this and I heard y'all up in this place, you know, help the people. You know what I'm saying? Otherwise, who gonna help you? You just gonna get, it's like those people who went to the army and shit like that. They'll be like veterans and shit like that. And then you see them and they be fucked up out here. You be like, damn, man, what happened to that old man? They might even have an army hat on, veteran. You like, damn, I see what happened to him. You know what I'm saying? So hopefully that won't happen to this guy, because you got a long life ahead of you. You know, we're thinking about it from being famous, getting a check, being somebody knowing you, you know what I'm saying? You might sign autographs or meet up with your YouTube family somewhere at a party and you feel like, look at me, man, I'm surviving. You know, look at me, I'm making it, you know what I'm saying? But this is 1 month, this is 1 year. This guy got a permanent situation that's gonna last him 25 years, 40 years in the future. This past weekend right now is gonna be something he remember 40, as long as he alive, he gonna remember this weekend right now. If he's in his 20s, 65 years from now, when he's 88, they gonna be saying, what happened to your hand? And he gonna say, July 2025. Me and my boys was up there. And that's all his story gonna ever be. Not to say that he's not gonna have another kind of life or whatever, but I'm just saying, but dealing with that hand is always gonna wrap back to this weekend right here. And then it's gonna, wherever his life go. You know what I'm saying? So that's really something to think about, especially if it hasn't happened to you or nobody you know. You know, you haven't ran across nobody who went through something like that. That shit ain't nothing to play with. You know what I'm saying? Meet new doctors. How you gonna talk to him if that's all he says 40 Crip and on Vernon Ave? Like, what they gonna say? They gonna think he's speaking a different language. They gonna say, what does any of that mean? Like, dude, you want me to take you to Vernon Ave? Where is that? You know, you gotta talk like, so he gotta even learn how to talk. That don't mean he can't do it. He could be playing a character on this show. That don't mean he only talk like that. But it's like when the camera on and that's all you hear, it's like the other guy, 5'5" Crip, 5'5" Crip. Do they only speak like that, or it's just a California way of having fun, because we talk our way. I know how to talk like this too, but if I'm around my homies and shit and I'm fucking with them, I'm gonna be talking like I talk with them. You know what I'm saying? Having a good time, laughing. I'm not gonna be imagining talking in some kind of way where it might be like they like, man, why are you talking like that, man? So, do they know how to cut it off and regular? Hey, yeah. So the pain is right here. I think it's about a 6. Or he gonna talk in his vernacular and be like, on 40. I don't say on 8, man. Hurry up, a doc on man on 40 crib, man, on Vernon Ave. You they like, what the fuck are you even saying? So all of that shit is actually gonna matter. You know what I'm saying? I'm cracking jokes right now, but technically, how you gonna describe your pain if you don't really know how to talk? You know what I'm saying? And or even scaring them. And like I thought earlier, I said they'll fuck around and be some girl at the fucking place who will be like, I like him. I talk to him. I'm an occupational therapist, and you get to know some girl now. You got some help, because otherwise you in this motherfucker like by yourself. You know what I'm saying? Talking to these people and shit, taking pills that thinking your blood pressure's like he gonna be in the doctor so many fucking times from this point on. And I hope he don't get locked up. See, that's really when you see people like this guy. It's like if Diddy get out and try to do another freak off. It's like this dude, if you get locked up again for any crime, anything, even if they already got you on a crime and they even trying to lock you up in the future for whatever crime happened before this, you can't go to jail. You can't, because number one, it's going to be bad disinfection in there. So you got a hand that's been amputated or compromised, and you got some kind of infection that can get in it from being inside the jail. That's number one. Number two, they ain't going to have the pills you need for the medication or even for the pain. That's over with. You know what I'm saying? Number three, being away from the care of your family and the care of people who love you, and just being in there stuck with the person who trying to be your help in the jail cell is going to run you crazy, because you're going to be like, man, I really need my auntie or my cousin or my family. What the fuck am I doing here? You know what I'm saying? These are just small things. You know what I'm saying? Now you can't go see the doctors, no specialists. You know what I'm saying? You can't go holler at them about different things that you feeling happening in your arm. Like, damn, how you gonna sit back and write a letter to motherfuckers from the jail about your current situation? You basically isolated. You gotta go pay a motherfucker. Here, write this. On 40 Crip, I mean, on Vernon Ave, I'm trying to see, like, he ain't gonna even be able to talk. Well, how you gonna even do going like, I ain't writing that, man. Just get to the point. And he got to keep cutting through the words to try to figure out the statement he's trying to say. You know what I'm saying? So you like, nah, man, right? Everything I say don't change nothing. So he look at it to be like, man, you got on Vernon Avenue here 27 times. Send it. That's what I'm sending. so so it's like this is what you got to go through, and that's just small things. You know what I'm saying? So I hope he don't get locked back up for whatever crime or scenario that I thought I heard that he was caught up in, but I don't know, because they get right back out sometimes, in different states. So you never know what the thing is in their town. You know what I'm saying? So maybe he is gonna get free from it all, because if you go to court and be like, Your Honor, ain't no way in the hell I can go sit in no damn jail cell for no 3 years. Get out of here, man. What you see my damn arm, motherfucker? Because as soon as you get in there, the people that's your ops, they ain't gonna give a damn about what's going on with your hand. They actually gonna be happy that that's going on with your hand. They gonna be like, perfect. I'm signing up for a squabble. And so now you got to squabble 30 dudes in 1 week, because they looking at you like, this nigga arm broke. And I couldn't fight him the last time he was here, but now I'm lining up. So it's like, you got to do all this and that. It's no way. You know what I'm saying? It's no way. Again, his life has changed. You know what I'm saying? He gonna have to be a regular person, like a regular dude going to do some kind of work and then getting a check so you can take care of your financial bills. And more than likely, he gonna probably work inside the field of his hand, like some regard, whether he talking or advocating, or he talking to kids that's going through it, whatever. He gonna be having to do something regarding that, because you already know there's money inside hospitals, there's money inside that kind of world of medicalness, or going to see doctors, or even again the mental part, because that's something nobody thinking about. Your mental, it ain't gonna be easy. Your brain, just seeing it happening in your head, or people joking with you, trying to be like, "Yeah, wow, motherfucker, get out of here, ha 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 ha." You like, hey, what the fuck, man? I ain't over that shit like that. Man, come on, man, get out of here. Me sensitive ass. You sitting back like, man, I don't even want to play with me like this. You know what I'm saying? So it's got to be a whole lot of that. You know what I'm saying? And then you got to think too, in the dark, when you by yourself, and it hit. Not with you kicking it. Everybody came over to hug you, y'all laughing and stuff, remembering the old days, and then, but I'm talking about when it's just you and you sitting there, and you ain't got nothing but the memories of your own brain, and then you start crying, and you can't stop crying, uncontrollable, not coming up out of it crying. You feel like you're going into a depression. You just like, oh my God, man, I'm getting to leave. And you just go into funks, spiraling down. You know, that's why people use pills and use the drug and all that stuff to come out of it, because you could really be going through a real, real bad time. I even be thinking about my own situation. I had a car crash about 3 months ago, and now I've been down for a bit. You know, my car got totaled, you know what I'm saying? So everything switched when I'm traveling, doing all this stuff, doing my music, doing my movies, and then everything just stopped. And then it's like, okay, is this real? And then, hell yeah, it's real. So now what do you do next? I'd pray, because I don't know what the fuck. You know, it's like you have a life change now. You have to try to figure out how to maneuver and move, and then God bless you. But I still got all my faculties. I'm not, my hands ain't messed up. I could do whatever I want to do, jump, you know, come up with new ideas. Anything could happen, because it's nothing really wrong with me like that. But again, you have lost a hand. So yeah, you still can walk and run and talk and jump, but your brain can't get past that day, that weekend, that moment. You know what I'm saying? Now you probably would start blaming people for it. If I would have just went over there where they did, they ain't gonna pick me up. And I told her I wanted to see her, but she said wait an hour. And it's like, you know, you start, and Tony the one who bought them damn things, why he even get that to me? You know what I'm saying? You start blaming people because of what the hell you're going through. You know what I'm saying? Then people looking at you, because again, the internet is crazy. So the video ain't really showed yet. They haven't shown the video like on platforms. So maybe you can go on X and see it. But when that video started rolling out, maybe around Christmas time, and you can see it every day, every time you 3 a.m. and looking through your phone, there it go again. That's gonna run them crazy too. He gonna be like, man, we gotta take this video down. I can't even get online. They sending it to you all the time. Hey, this your damn hand. Yeah, ha 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 ha. He sent back like, ah. So it's gonna be, you gotta have a strong mental capacity to be a celebrity. A celebrity that's halfway known, but it come with a little infamy, because you're known for squabbling and fighting and things of that nature. So it's like people really would love to see your downfall. You know what I'm saying? And then you go through this. So it's like a downfall, but it's not even a real downfall. It's like a take you out. Like you can't even do what you used to do no more. That's it. Boxing, fighting. Even if you did do that, who would want to see it? You would be considered a handicapped person. Like it's a younger man who trying to get in the NBA, but he got like one arm. And every year, even especially this year, they was doing this whole NBA draft thing that they were saying he was gonna make it, but I don't know if he did. But I don't remember, because I didn't see no news fair about him making it. But I was saying to myself, like, how did that make him feel sitting back, hooping his ass off, going crazy on motherfuckers on the basketball court, and then you still ain't gonna never get that call from the NBA because you got one arm. So even if you got all the skills in the world and you the coolest dude, you very cool, you can talk your ass off, you got everything about you is perfect. You gotta also remember the fact that thousands and millions of people watch that shit, and they might not be want to look at a dude with one arm. It might freak them out. It might make them feel like I want to throw up. Like, wait a minute, this dude got one arm. He ran up and down the ball. He good. He get glamour and nice shots, but that shit is fucking hard to stare at. And so I'm gonna write a letter and say, get this motherfucker off the TV, man. That shit is crazy. You know, this is really what the real world is all about. You know, you that person who's gonna write that note, you ain't gonna know he did that. But if they start receiving them and say, y'all got this dude on here with one arm, man, this is fucking crazy. They gonna have to pull you and be like, look, we losing money. People not really, he just wanna hoop. He just believe, I fought against all odds. Look at me. And the people might be like, yeah, you might have to go do a movie. And they'll just do a movie about your life. But we can't put you on a team and travel you around the country, the one arm dude coming out. It's like, maybe some people could like that, but then some people might be like, I wanna see that shit. So this is a real fucking world we live in, and some stuff like that could happen. So I don't know if he made it to the NBA this time, but I know he was trying. So, but if he did make it, then it's like, okay, that team is stuck with the one-armed guy. What? How they gonna make money off of it? How they gonna turn it into something? So this dude right here, he get his money for a GoFundMe. Is he gonna be able to do a TV show, write a book? Is he gonna be able to talk about what it's like to lose one arm, one hand, and now all of a sudden everybody else want to care about his world or care about what he's talking about? You know what I'm saying? Or is it gonna be the same way? They hear me pop on the video and they be like, "Oh, that one out. Turn, man. I want to see that, man." You know, but this is the stuff he facing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't trying to, or it'll be like, man, I understand what he went through. Hey, man, I'm a fan, bro. It don't matter, man. Whatever you go through, I'm gonna follow your trajectory. I'm gonna go ahead and donate too. So you never know how it's gonna go. But I believe it'll probably be more people that support him, just because of the world is the way it is. But I don't think it's gonna be like the way it was, where he gonna be like a no jumper heavyweight when he pop on there. Everybody gonna give a shit. I don't think it's gonna be like that no more. He had threatened that guy, 607, just, like about a week prior. And then the internet was saying that 607 put a root or a voodoo on the guy, and that's why he lost his hand. So, who to know if any of that shit's true? If you believe in some of that stuff, then that's what it is. But, he did go through this crazy scenario after coming up to the place with 30 Crips to try to jump on. Oh boy, they didn't actually jump him, but they left a threat in his heart. So he quit the show. 607 left. He went back to his town in St. Louis. And he been there ever since. You know what I'm saying? So, but then a week later, which is this weekend, oh boy, lose his hand. So then the question is that karma? You know what I'm saying? Did he put out such a horrific moment for the other guy that this would happen on the back end for him? Or is it just the timing? You was with your boys, somebody had a fucking firecracker and it went off crazy on you. Like, whatever, man, we gotta move on from this type of shit. So you gotta let me know what you think. Because in my opinion, I think his career is done. He's gonna go back to being a regular human. He's gonna get off the internet because they gonna sauce him up every time he get on. They gonna kill him. Like you with your one arm, and then how much further can you go? Can you be the new Arnold Schwarzenegger with one arm? Can you Hollywood gonna start hiring you for movies and some Tubi director, producer gonna put you in 5 stories about the one arm dude? Probably not. You know what I'm saying? So he's gonna have to go back to obscurity. And that's what I believe. Because otherwise, and I do believe that he gonna be scaring people if he pop up with that one arm. I'm not gonna be funny about that. I think he gonna be scaring people. Unless they got that thing on there where it look normal, where it can be hidden and it's just like a regular hand. Anytime he pop up, it's gonna be like, oh shit. That's old boy. I'm gone. I don't want to see that shit. Again, some people are like that. You know what I'm saying? They're not gonna be wanting to be around it. But you hear firecrackers going off every day, leading up to it. Even afterwards, you got some people popping them right now. So it's not like it's gonna be the last time somebody get hurt from dealing with firecrackers. You know what I'm saying? So, but no, I know for a fact he'll never deal with them again. That's the end of that. He'll never mess with them again. He probably found out the one way, which is the hard way, of what them damn things could do to you. You know what I'm saying? And so his rap career probably over with too. Because again, everybody in the audience, that's all they're gonna be getting to see is the one-armed dude, the one-hand guy. You know what I'm saying? So you can't leave that. That's like a part of the structure of the world. You know what I'm saying, that we live in America. So I don't think that make him a bad person for going through it, but I just think it's sad. You know what I'm saying? Because you never know what his trajectory would have been in his career had he stayed regular. You know what I'm saying? But maybe putting out so much craziness, so much venom, that it turned into that. You know what I'm saying? Maybe that's what it was. You know what I'm saying? Maybe that's what it was. But maybe it was just him being crazy for the fans, giving people what they want. You know what I'm saying? We'll never know. But that's all I got on this podcast. I'm going to hit y'all up again with a new episode in a minute. Y'all hit me back with a like and share and subscribe. And I appreciate y'all watching that. Peace out.